The expenditure heads of 33 ministries were inspected by a special select committee.
A report was compiled by this committee and the expenditure heads of 12 ministries mentioned in the report were discussed in Parliament today.
Meanwhile, the issue of heroin being imported was once again raised during today's parliamentary debate.
If a drug dealer is captured in a village, he would be remanded or a death sentence would be handed down. When such a large haul of heroin is discovered, we need to find the truth behind this. No such investigation has been conducted. Do you have a religion? Then you should act according to that religion. I am asking you, are you a drug dealer? You are talking like one. We do not want to discuss your drug issues. It should be done elsewhere. Other discussions need to take place in this chamber. We speak on behalf of the people's development. We should not speak like fools. Look at the charges leveled by the JHU. I don't think you did it, but the JHU states that 252 kilograms of heroin were imported using a letter from the Prime Minister. Honorable Speaker, quoting statements made by individuals to the papers does not suit this chamber. This should be a place where people act with intelligence. This is serious because it is being said by the JHU, which is a part of your government. They are the ones calling for your arrest. Does that mean that the JHU does not have intelligent people?
Electric fences have been erected in many areas in order to prevent attacks by wild elephants.
Now, there is an accepted procedure when erecting electric fences.
However, several wild elephants were killed in the recent past due to electric fences that were erected illegally.
Residents in such areas and the general public think that the power we use in electric fences to prevent wild elephant attacks is the same that we use domestically. They should realize that we use only a small amount of power in electric fences used to prevent wild elephant attacks. It is essential to use the proper equipment when erecting such fences. No one is allowed to obtain electricity from the main supply and use it in electric fences. If they do so, not just elephants, this could cause harm to humans as well. The person erecting the fence could get himself killed or cause the deaths of his children. So because of this, he could even be charged with murder. We will uphold the law.
Another wild elephant died in Mathala after being electrocuted.
Locals in the area say that this situation has arisen due to various outsiders claiming lands in the area.
On the 10th of October, a wild elephant that had roamed on the road leading to the Mathala International Airport had caused damage to electricity and communication posts erected along the roadside. Moreover, loss of life and damage to property were also reported from the Hambantota district on a number of occasions as a result of wild elephant attacks. Another trend that has been reported from this very district is increase of deaths of wild elephants due to electrocution. Wild elephants paid the price with their lives after coming into contact with an electric fence set up around private land. The most recent incident in this nature was reported last night from the Lower Andarwava area on the road leading to the Mathala International Airport. This pachyderm died by electrocution after coming into contact with an unprotected electric fence.
මේක ගොයිතංග ඔන්න අපිට ඔහොම කරදරයක් තිබුණේ නැහැ. දැන් මෑතක ඉඳලා වටේම ඉතින් කැලෑ සුද්ධ කරලා අර මේ කරපින්න තමයි මේ අලින්ට ඉන්න තරක් නැතුව රැයට මේ අලි ටික ඇවිල්ලා මේ කරදර කරන ගොයිතෙන් පාලු කරන්නේ. උන්ටත් ඉතින් ඉන්න තරක් නැති නිසා. දැන් අපේ මහත්තයා වන ජීවකෙන් අරන් ගිහලා තියාගෙන ඉන්න කිසිම මේ තාමනේ මොනම සාධාරණයක්වත් කරේ.
On the 23rd of November 2013, 4 wild elephants, including a young elephant, were killed by electrocution after coming into contact with an electric fence set up around a land in Hadilla Gannorwa in Hambantota. We warn them not to claim lands from here. There is no place for the traditional farmers. They have no place to live. Our lands are restricted and we only have our gardens to depend on. The only means of protection for us is setting up electric fences. Mattal is a jungle that is home to wild elephants. When around 1,000 acres of land are being cleared, over 3,000 from Colombo come here to claim lands, saying it belongs to them. Political parties in the area should stop distributing lands and taking them over. They should take steps to preserve the existing elephant reserves and provide a conducive land for the elephants. They should engage in these two activities as soon as possible. If not, the loss of these wild elephants and death of people will never come to an end.
Tonight on Words of Wisdom, we have a look at the inspiring words of English writer Daniel Defoe, who was most famous for his book Robinson Crusoe.
It is better to have a lion at the head of an army of sheep than a sheep at the head of an army of lions. Daniel Defoe, English playwright.
And up next is the newspaper cartoon of the day. Australia's government has warned its budget deficit may last for a decade if urgent remedial action is not taken to improve the country's finances.
In its latest economic outlook, the deficit was forecast to rise to 47 billion Australian dollars in the year to June as a result of a weakening economy.
That compares with the forecast of 30 billion Australian dollars deficit made in August.
The country's 2014 to 2015 growth forecast was also downgraded to 2.5% from 3%.
Treasurer Joe Hockey said the economy was undergoing a tough transition and pledged to tighten spending.
Meanwhile, Red Bull Formula One driver Daniel Ricciardo says that racing alongside world champion Sebastian Vettel will be one of the toughest challenges of his career.
The 24-year-old Australian Formula One driver shared these thoughts with Newsfirst Ramesh Irugalbanda.
Sebastian Vettel was once a Toro Rosso driver just like you. Came up through the ranks, qualified for Red Bull, then started winning races. Do you think you'll be able to relate with him more as a teammate because you were part of that chain?
Yeah, I think we definitely have some things in common. You know, we're only 2 years apart as well, so the age is not a very big difference. Yeah, I think we're similar in some respects, you know, on and off the track. I'm looking forward to working with him. Definitely going to be my biggest challenge yet. But I'm ready for that and hoping to do a great job, and hopefully as a team we can keep winning the Constructors title as well.
Who do you think will be the team to challenge Red Bull next season?
It's a good question. I mean, I'm only guessing for now, but I think Mercedes will be strong again, and I think Ferrari will get back to their top form as well. So McLaren is a bit of an unknown, but I think those two teams for now will be they'll be at the front of the grid.
Moving back to some local news now before we wrap up. The protest carried out by temporary workers of the Jaffna Hospital calling on officials to recruit them into the permanent staff entered its fifth day today.
The day-to-day activities of the hospital have been severely affected due to the strike action.
The demonstrators had been recruited as temporary workers to the Jaffna Teaching Hospital 5 years ago. A total of 240 such workers are currently employed by the hospital. The admittance of patients to hospital wards has been severely hampered as a result of the protest. Although the protesters called on the Northern Province Health Minister to rectify this issue, no solution has been given as yet. General Secretary of the Citizens Front, Parliamentarian J. Sri Ranga, speaking to Newsfirst, said that there is a direct political involvement in this issue.
But after the war, they are expecting the permanent job. But unfortunately, the health ministry is supposed to handle this. Health ministry job was handled by Minister Douglas Devanand. Doctors knows that. The directors knows that, but they can't talk, because if they talk, they will be answered. The appointment should be not polarized. People are frustrated about it. That's what they clearly shown this during the election. They don't want Douglas Devananda, but government should take it seriously. So I think government take these matters very seriously. Otherwise, they can't win the heart of the Jaffna people.
Meanwhile, an accident on the Maravilla-Nathandiya main road this morning claimed the lives of 2 people.
I'm on the Maravilla-Nathandiya main road. A head-on collision between a 3-wheeler and a lorry had taken place at around 2:30 this morning. A lorry plying from Maravilla to Nathandiya had collided onto an oncoming 3-wheeler. The police said that the lorry had collided with the 3-wheeler when the driver lost control of the lorry. The driver and the passenger in the 3-wheeler died in the accident. The driver is reported to be 51 years old from Kubuk Gahamulla in Valipanna Gahamulla. The other victim in the accident has been identified as a 50-year-old father of 2 from Halagama Gampola. The bodies of the deceased have been placed in the Maravilla Base Hospital for the post-mortem examination. The driver of the lorry has been arrested by the Maravilla police in connection to the accident.
And that's a wrap of your primetime news for tonight. Thank you for joining us. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Nicola D'Zoiza.
And I'm Shayan Silva. We wrap up with a look at the weather forecast for the rest of the night.
Good night.
Hotline 0114-896-896. www.newsfirst.lk. Feedback at newsfirst.lk.